Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you are brand new, welcome. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I would love it if you would subscribe and join us here. Today I'm taking part in Cori, who is creating with scraps on YouTube. I'm taking part in her JJ 10-minute makes. It's a hashtag, it's in the title. Please join in. I'm going to link Cori's video down below so you can check out what the challenge is all about. So today I am going to attempt to make 1, 2 or maybe 3 of these. Now these are little tag things that I made for my morning makes. So if you follow me over on Instagram or on Pinterest, you'll know what these are. So let's, they might be slightly different, but if you are using these, something like this, if you made something like this, I'm just going to show you a couple of ways you could use them in a journal. So you could pop them onto the edge of a page and glue it in place, or you could glue it along here. You could have a little tuck spot and then you've got little tabs to hang outside of your journal. You could make it this way, so you could have something fancy hanging out the top of your journal. You could have it hanging off the bottom of your journal, so you could put some little charms or something like that on there. If you wanted to attach it to a page, you could use it as a tuck spot. You could also have it this way up and turn it into a pocket. You could use this as a tag and tuck into a pocket if you didn't add your string. Loads and loads of options for these and really super simple to make. So we'll see how many we can do. Now I've got my lovely vintage timer, but it is a little bit noisy. We're aiming for 10 minutes, so that will be here. There, if you're looking at from where you are, that's there. So this goes around 10 times. It is a little bit noisy, so I'm going to pop it way over there and hopefully you won't hear the ticking, but I'm also going to keep an eye on my video time just to make sure I don't go over. I'm going to try and stick to 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute challenge. I can't really go over 10 minutes because that would just be cheating, wouldn't it? So I'm going to give you options for what I'm using, so you don't necessarily have to have exactly what I have. Please don't worry. So let me start by showing you what I have ready. I'm not classing this as part of the 10-minute make. So I've got some cheesecloth and some muslin. If you don't have this, you don't have to use it. You could use scraps of lace, any fabric you have, or leave it out completely. I've got a block with a stamp on. I'm going to use this because it's got text on, but you can use any stamp you want, or not even stamp. You could handwrite if you wanted to. I've got some die cuts. Now, I know these, you can purchase die cuts from shops like The Works in the UK, The Range. You don't have to have a die cut machine and cut dies. I've also got a few printables here. So I've got a butterfly, a couple of toadstools, a dragonfly. These were printables that I've cut and they could be used. Move that out of the way. What else do I have? Okay, so I have a few digital labels, but if you don't have digital labels, I've also got this, which is, they're stickers. These are Cavallini. I don't know if they're still available, but you don't have to use any particular brand. I know, again, in The Works, I have seen label stickers. So there's some different stickers in here. If you don't have printables, or you could use some of the Tim Holtz phrases. This book is quite an old one now. It's called Small Talk. I know he's got lots of newer versions of these, but they are just little stickers with words on. So that's an option as well. So what am I going to use for the main part of my project? So these are luggage tags. You can buy them on Amazon. You can get them in different sizes and different shapes. It's really late here, so the light's a bit poor. But just to show you, to make things like this even quicker, I think this pack of luggage tags, I think I got something like 20 for either £1 or £2 from The Works. These ones are also from The Works, as are these. I think these ones I may have got from Amazon. I've had them quite a long time. This one, I don't know where it is, and I probably won't use that because I love it. So I'm going to slot that in my little stash over here. So we've got different tags that we can use. Now, you don't have to use 2 different size tags. You don't have to even use tags. You can cut cardstock if you want to. You could cut a playing card down to use. So these are just a few that I have now. I might pair those up. I might pair those up because they're different sizes. We might make, let's make one with these tags, one with these tags, and then we'll make one with maybe 2 of these if this is all you've got and you've only got one size tag. So we'll do 3. Probably not going to be doing any sewing on them to keep within my 10 minutes. So now obviously I've talked about this and I've talked for 5 minutes now, just so you know what I'm using. It's going to save the time because the 10 minutes is about the making, not gathering supplies. Cori has a great video on little journals you can make within 10 minutes. So go and check that out. I'll pop the link for that down below as well. So here we go. I've wound it up, I've reset it, and I'm going to, right, reset it. I'm going to start it off. I'm going to move it over there and then start it off. Right, so 2 sets of tags. I'm going to use 2 of those. I'm going to use 2 of those. Oh, it's really off-putting having that sound. And I'm going to use 2 of those. So let's put these together before we cut them. I think that's going to be, oh, so one of my rather long hairs there. Let's pop that little hole out. Now this has got a heart in, this has got a heart in, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to be using that. Oh, these are thank you tags. So should I use that? So I'm going to use this side. Get my glue. I'm going to glue along the back here. And I'm going to layer that. Now I might have put a little bit too much glue here. I want them a little bit, I don't want them level. So let's call that. I'm going to have this one about here. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue there. Put that down. And then this one probably about here. So a little bit of glue there. And then that one. So that's our 3 backgrounds. Now I'm going to use my trimmer because it's obviously going to be a lot quicker. Put that in, decide, there's no real, I'm going to go for about 2.5 inches on this one. So that's 1. I think I'm probably going to go around the 2.5 inches on each of these. Sorry about my bangles. Let's make that one a little bit bigger. And then the final one. Ooh. So those scraps can be used for something else. We now have our 3 tags. So the first thing, I'm going to do some stamping. Black ink. Did I use black ink on those? Yes, I did. So I'm just going to randomly stamp. Not overthinking it. That will do. So for speed, I'm going to use my brush and my ink. You don't have to ink. Just going to ink around. And I'm making a big mistake inking onto this board. I know I should have probably have changed it. What are we on? Ooh. Ink round here. Ink round here. Maybe 3 was a little bit optimistic. Okay, so now that's that done. I'm going to grab some cheesecloth, but like I said, any fabric you have, any scrap fabric, any well, anything really. You can use anything you like. There are no rules. Okay, so let's take the glue lid off. Check my time. Oh, not even at 5 minutes yet. You never know, we might have time to sew. At least maybe one of them. Put that place, just hold that down. Push that. I think I might have needed a little bit more stamping on here, but that's okay. Final one. Now, I think with 10-minute makes, if you're prepared and planned, and you've got all of your bits and pieces together, it's actually quite amazing how much you can make in 10 minutes. I've learned that from doing my morning makes. I usually work for a little bit longer than 10 minutes, not always. But it is a way of making sure you create something every day. And if you do 10 minutes a day, you could have lots of ephemera to go into a journal, especially if you can do a little production line like this. So now I need to choose. If I was going to sew, I would sew now. And I've got to make a decision if I am going to sew or not. Right. So like I said, we'll do one. We'll go for the butterfly because that's quite large. I've already got a die cut, haven't I? So let's see. Let's go for a die cut flower on there. Maybe I should go for, yeah, I think I might, don't know. We'll go for the butterfly. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this bit off here. And pull that bit off there. So my bird is not floating in midair. Do I want a bird? No. Okay, there we go. So let's try that. I mean, the auditioning is what takes the time. I'm not going to lie. This would be a lot quicker if I wasn't messing about trying to pick something. Right. I'm going for that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is what I've decided on. Now I'm going to rough up my butterfly. So I'm going to use the edge of my tweezers and move that about a little bit. I'm going to bend it where it's going to fit onto my tag. Now you could use some cotton as your little antenna, or you could use some flower stem thingies, whatever they're called, that I've used in other makes. But for speed, I'm leaving the print as it is. Only using a single layer of butterfly as well. So I'm going to add some glue down here. Pop that down. So I'm going to add glue to the back of my little die cut. Ooh, running out of time. Toadstool. What am I on? I've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes left, I think. I can't really read that. Can't read it very well. Right, now I'm going to look for labels. So I've got a label here. Speeding up. And I'm going to glue that under my butterfly. This one, I'm going to grab a sticker. This one says "Be amazed." Put that down there. This one, I'm going to use, look at that, I'm just going to go for this sticker here. Put that down. And then, now I would probably use a different stamp. There's nothing left on that. Okay. Oh, I've got 1 minute, less than a minute. So let's do that. Add that. Right, final step. Little bit of spray, any colour. Gone a little bit over the top there. Bit more ink and done. I think I might have been 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So I really apologise. Oh, no. I'm actually 12 seconds away from 10 minutes. 12 seconds away from 10 minutes. I'm very pleased with that. Obviously, they've got to dry. But that, 10 minutes. If I hadn't have messed about so much deciding what to put on there, I would have had time to put my string in. So if you want to, you've got some jute, you could add jute to the little holes. You could sew them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of embellish them a little bit further, and then I'm going to show pictures of that at the end. So thank you, Cori, for putting on an amazing challenge. And I hope loads of you are going to take part. Like I said, the hashtag is hashtag JJ10MinuteMakes. Oh, don't you hate these pins? I do. I am going to sew down the sides, and I am going to add some twine or something to the edges here. Probably not going to add eyelets because these holes are pre-cut. Probably not going to be the right size. I might have eyelets for here. So thank you so much. I have to wait for these to dry before I do that. But the photos will be at the end. Please take part. Thank you so much. I will see you all on Friday for the final part of the July challenge. Take care. See you soon. Bye.